Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another awesome edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young. The days are getting longer. I left my house at about 4 o'clock to get here, and it's just about 5 o'clock, and the sun is, well, it's a little cloudy, but it's kind of overcast. We had a little snow the other day, but it is bright, and you can tell spring is in the air. You can smell it and feel it and taste it, and as usual, we got an awesome guest in here to help bring it in tonight, but before I get to her, I got to read the underwriters slowly and concisely because they make it happen. So here we go, a couple of new ones. We got Juice Station in Pembroke. We got Carver Jewelers, custom designed fine jewelry right here in the building, as a matter of fact. Donald and Lyle Delano Goldsmiths. We got Dave's Automotive in Hanson. We got Something for Your Dust, a nice little curio and antique store in Plymouth. We got Hennessy Automotive in Kingston. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist in Brockton. We got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair, the home of the certified used car in Whitman. We got Grand Slam Vape in Bridgewater, one of the original underwriters back in the fall when I started, or last summer. And we got Cherry Lane Seat Weaving in West Bridgewater. And I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, we'll introduce the guests. So tonight, as you know, I pride myself on the show's diversity. I bring in all kinds of interesting people. Some off the street, some off the style lane, as they say. This one here, she's sort of in between. She's both. This is Emily Daniels Lindbeck. Is that right? She's an artist. She's a dog walker, and she's a bartender. So she's, she's an ordinary Jane, I guess, and that's fine. But she's interesting, and to me, I always say everybody has an interesting story to tell, and we always make it entertaining. And believe me, I've seen what she can do, and we're going to make it entertaining tonight, I guarantee it. So, Emily, first of all, I just want to thank you for coming in and being on Topic Time with me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you here. Now, what are you first and foremost? What would you consider yourself first and foremost in terms of your livelihood? Well, I mean, you're a mother too. You brought your daughter with you.
I did.
Okay, and that's awesome. That's really cool. She's here for moral support to enjoy herself. But aside from that, though, what would you say your main livelihood is? And we'll cover that, and then we'll cover all the other ones as well.
I think none of them are really my main thing.
Okay, that's fine.
My art, my henna and doing body art is kind of my favorite thing. Okay. And then doing the dogs, which kind of started because I do a lot of activism things for rescuing animals and stuff like that. And then the bar that I work at is a cigar club, and I have a passion for cigars, so... You
smoke them too?
I do.
Good for you. Well, that's awesome. Well, just so you know, you may know, we've been Facebook friends a while. I love animals. I care about their welfare. So you might see that I post a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I feel sad about posting it because it's like I feel when animals get treated badly, and I know, unfortunately, and I mean I'm a vegan, so. And unfortunately, none of us can be a total vegan. It's very hard because no matter what you do, your car seats are made of, animal. I mean, I hate to be blunt about it, but that's true. Furniture, whatever, clothes. But I do eat a vegan diet, and I'm very happy with that. And I feel great, turning 60 in a few months. So, and I'm glad to see that I have someone in here that cares enough about animals to take care of them like you do. That's really nice.
Yeah, my daughter and I are actually both vegetarian. She's never awesome. Had meat, so.
I don't even like, I have a hard time asking that question because most people say they're not.
Right.
But when I hear from like you saying that you are, that's really nice. That makes me very happy. I wish I could convert the whole world. And I have a hunch you probably do too, if you
Absolutely.
could. Yeah. But you got to do it one person at a time. It's the old school thought, unfortunately, is not vegetarianism. It's you got to eat meat to survive. But if that were the case, we'd be long gone.
Right.
Okay. How long? Just curious. How long have you been a vegetarian?
Right about 16, 17 years, something like that.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Is your daughter? She's not. She only looks about 12.
She's 13, so she's never had meat ever.
Never had meat. Look at you. Congratulations. That is awesome. Good. Well, she's the picture of health.
Absolutely.
And there you go. And,
yep.
I underguessed her age by here, so that's got to be a good thing.
Yep.
All right, but let's talk about your art now, because I know I love having creative people on the show. I want to get into your creative side.
Okay.
Talk about, and then we'll get to everything else too. But how do you do art? Are you a tattoo artist?
I'm not. I do henna, and I just started doing hago, which is.
All right, hold up a second. What is henna? I know it's just Three Stooges jokes to say henna color at all, but I'm not a big fan of the Stooges.
Most people know henna. originating from India because you'll see brides with it, and it's just
It's a paint kind of, it's kind
it's
of a
like
paint,
it
right?
comes from a plant, so it's a plant that actually grows in the warmer climates in the Middle East.
Right.
And then we mash it up and dry it out
Okay.
and mix it with lemon juice and essential oils, and then you can draw on people with it.
I see.
And it will leave a stain for a couple weeks.
Now, a couple of questions. Just curious, as I hear you talk about, and I've seen you do some work on other people's arms and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any health benefits to this? To having it on the skin? I'm just wondering. That you know
So
of?
the henna plant itself, actually, legend has it, because
Yeah.
it's thousands of years old.
Right.
If you were to mash it together with water, people would put it on the palms of their hands and on their feet because it cools your body down.
Okay.
So it will bring the temperature down, but people have used it for all kinds of things, eczema.
Really?
Yeah, so it's good for your hair.
Good,
It's
'cause I
good
have
for,
eczema.
if you want to be brownish red, then you could put it all over your eczema, but it's not a harmful substance. It's like anything else that's natural. However, though there can be allergies to it.
Okay.
It's rare,
Right.
but it can happen. So.
Okay. I assume that when you do when you paint someone's skin, you warn them there's a slight possibility.
Absolutely. They could
Okay.
be allergic to the henna, they could be allergic to lemon juice, they could have a sensitivity to the oil.
Okay.
There's a population of people that if they carry a certain chromosome, they can have an allergy to it, and even then they would have to be covered in henna from head to toe for it to react. But
Really? Okay.
you can have a skin, like a dermatitis type reaction.
Well, I've seen some of your artwork. Now, do you do these at carnivals, or do you actually have a business where people come in and you paint them?
I will typically go and do parties at people's homes. I've worked at the Big E, I've worked in Topsfield, so lots
Okay.
of big fairs and festivals, and then private parties. It's really popular to do women who are pregnant. We do what's called a belly blessing, which is actually a Moroccan thing that will
Okay.
draw, to ward off evil spirits and welcome their new infant to life. So I just did, one of the most recent things I just did was a belly blessing for a woman in Connecticut who was pregnant with twins.
Wow.
And they couldn't have kids. So it was really special to her.
Wait a minute. Oh, who you just said pregnant, but they couldn't have kids?
Yep.
Well,
So
wait a minute,
they
how's that
went
possible?
through like 6 or 7 years of in vitro and doing
okay.
all kinds of things. So she ended up getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And wanted some sort of tree thing and hearts. So I drew a tree of life on her belly with the heart in the middle for her,
Wow.
giving life to the tree, and then hearts for the twins. So it was really great.
Well, so basically, okay, so it was kind of like in vitro, forced. I don't want to say forced birth, but that's
Fertilization.
kind of
Right.
what it was. Okay. And it probably made it a lot symbolically anyway. I'm sure it was something. I've never heard of that. That's incredible.
Her and her husband were thrilled. They cried. Her best friend got it for her as a present. So
Okay.
it was really an honor to be able to work on her.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh, that's great though. Okay. How long have you been doing this for?
This particular type of art, not that long, like 9 or 10 years, something like that.
That's a pretty good stint of time. Well, are you self-employed doing this?
Yes.
Okay.
I do work for other companies as well, but yes.
Wow, well, that's great. So you pretty much call your own shots. But but how do you reach out to people? It's mostly on Facebook and other ways?
Most of
or what?
my work comes from referrals. So it's either I
Referral,
worked
okay.
on somebody and they sent me other people, and if I'll work independently for other companies as well.
Okay, that is unusual. Now it's original because you do paint, you paint skin. You don't do tattoos and you don't do body piercings.
No.
And every time you paint someone's skin, eventually it's not going to be permanent. It's going to wash off.
Nope. I've had people tattoo over designs before, but it's not permanent unless they choose to go that option afterwards.
But if they do, it's got nothing. You don't have nothing to do with that.
I have nothing to do with that.
Okay. All right, and people are okay with that? They come in. I mean, today the tattoo movement is taking off like never before. When I was a kid, I used to think someday I'll get a tattoo, and back then mostly it was just guys getting tattoos and a few of them at that. Now, I mean, you see more people with them than without them. Are pretty close. So the concept of now, but then also they told me too. They said if you're going to get a tattoo, that means they're going to have to burn it into your skin. So they used to have these tattoo decals that I used to, where the kids could put the they could just, if they did it right, it would come out on their hand or whatever.
Right.
It would look really nice. And then eventually they'd wash it off, and that would be it. So they, at least for a while, because at that time it was illegal for someone under the age of 21 or whatever to get a tattoo.
Right.
So a real one. So that's what the decals were for. And yeah, you're doing this thing where you're not piercing anybody's skin. You're just putting temporary designs on them, and you're making pretty good money doing that, I guess. That's incredible. How far and wide has your business gone so far?
I think the furthest out I've ever gone to work is Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Maybe, but
That's a lot. That's a pretty good distance for something because I mean, Pennsylvania's a few hundred miles down the road. I mean, that's.
It's not close. I've had
I know
calls
it.
to go out to
I've driven
much.
down there. It's a long distance, it's a trip.
Yeah, I've had calls to go further out to do other things, and I wasn't available, so I haven't been able to. But it's not surprising whatsoever to have a henna artist flown out to, you know, wherever if somebody's getting married. It's a big thing to do for people who are getting married
Okay,
or
wow.
bachelor parties. So it's nothing to. I have other friends who have been doing henna for 20 and 30 years that get flown to places to do the henna because they want that
That
particular
is so
artist
cool. So
style.
they fly you. They pay the freight for to fly you out there.
Absolutely.
To these places. Wow, that's amazing. That's an incredible. I'm darn impressed. Do you have any people working for you, or you just do it all yourself?
I just do it all myself.
Wow.
I'll take my daughter with me sometimes to things to help me out, but other than that, each artist does their own thing.
Each, well, okay, but when you say each, you mean there are other henna artists out there too. You just
There's
have
tons of them. You just have to find them.
Wow, because until today, when I saw that picture on Facebook, you were drawing someone on someone's arm. I thought it was a tattoo. I was, and then I saw you. I was looking at your page, and it looked like you were doing, body painting at an event like a carnival or something. And that I figured was something separate. But I guess that's all. It's the whole thing. Everything you do is all that. It's all temporary.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just curious. How do you get? You have to, since it comes from India. Does it cost a lot of money to import it to the United States to use it?
It's not that expensive to have the henna sent to you. You just have to be careful where you get it from. So
why? Because it could be black market henna.
It could be. It could be.
Okay.
There is bad henna.
Wow.
I love to have other people that want to learn about it, but they'll go to the store and buy henna cones that are sent here from India, and they are filled with chemicals and can burn your skin.
Yeah. That's right.
I prefer to have the powder sent to me, and even then, I only order from places that have been scientifically tested so that I know what I'm getting is actually henna and they didn't add anything else to it that could harm somebody.
Is there a way of figuring out, testing it so that how, that's the case, that it's safe?
You can't, they could test it for
Like
purity.
is there a way for pH level of stuff?
Right, you hire a separate company, they'll go out to the factory, they figure out the lawsone content because lawsone is actually the molecule that dyes your skin.
That's fantastic.
And then they can test it for purity.
Cool, okay. Well, and all right, now let's talk about the other things you do. You're a bartender at a cigar club, and you smoke cigars.
I do.
Okay, well, how'd that come about?
So that was just, I've always kind of worked in hospitality, and one day a position
You worked in hospitality?
Forever,
What does that
since
mean
high
exactly?
school. So I've always worked in restaurants,
I
bars,
see what
clubs,
you
that
mean.
kind of thing.
Okay.
And a position came up at a cigar club, so I went there to kind of see what it was like and fell in love with the industry.
Wow.
And have friends all over the world in the cigar industry. I could literally jump on a plane, travel to almost any state in several countries, and meet up with other people.
Just to smoke cigars?
Just to smoke cigars.
Even Cubans? I hear they were illegal. Are they still illegal?
They're not. Well, the
Listen,
the jury's out. You won't get me in trouble. The jury is kind of out on that. Cuba's country has kind of unfortunately been raped and pillaged, and the cigars' quality isn't quite the same as it used to be.
Yeah,
There are
okay.
fabulous cigars now that come in other countries, but when the embargo happened, a lot of the cigar families moved to other countries and retained the name of the cigar. So it'll be a little while before they straighten all of the legalities out of getting them here from Cuba, because now they have to change their name.
Okay, but you think the Cuban cigars, as they used to be, are the top quality cigars on earth, basically?
No.
Okay. Do you have any? As a guy who is an experimenting adolescent myself, when I was 12, I smoked cigars for a while because I was told it was safer than cigarettes. And plus I wanted to stand out, and I did. But do you have any? I'm just curious now. Are you a cigar? Would you consider yourself a cigar aficionado? Do you have a particular brand that you prefer over all others?
I have a couple of different ones that I prefer,
Or
and
a
I
couple
will say that there's a major difference between a cigar that you could go get at the gas station as compared to what you would get at a cigar shop. Yeah.
Okay.
Big difference.
I assume that's the ones that cigar shops are high quality.
Absolutely. They're hand rolled. There's
Right.
no chemicals. Tobacco's all natural.
Yep.
There's a big difference. And a lot of times what you can get at a gas station has been there forever or is not really an actual good cigar with different types
So
of
just
tobaccos
the
and
opposite of
fillers.
wine. A good cigar is not good if it's aged too much.
Exactly.
Whereas wine is good if it's aged a lot. Okay, interesting. Do you ever roll your own cigars?
I have not actually had the opportunity to do that.
Okay, I mean, it might be-
Eventually, I would like to go down and go stay. You can take a trip down and visit almost any of the cigar houses and go stay down there, and
Are
they'll
you
take
talking
you
about
on a
like Brent
tour.
Smoke Shop? And I'm only saying that because they've underwritten my show.
Yep.
A few of them, not this one, but is that one of them? You
I
what?
don't know.
No,
I've not
they're
been
in
there.
Mass, though. I don't think they have any down your way.
It's a little different. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're here. There's Massachusetts has some strange laws regarding tobacco, so
Okay.
there's not a lot of places that you can go get tobacco, stay there, smoke, eat, drink. And in Rhode Island, we are allowed to have
That's right,
tobacco,
there's no
alcohol,
smoke.
and
You don't have smoke-free zones in restaurants there still,
we
right?
do. But as Cigar Club, no, we can have cigar and food and
Okay.
hookah and all that stuff in the same place.
Interesting.
In
okay.
Massachusetts, you can't do that.
Okay. So what do you exactly do? How does your career come in to play with cigars? You sell them?
We do sell them.
Okay.
So where I work now is a restaurant.
Okay.
Called, oddly enough, Tel Aviv, because the owner is from Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv,
So
Tel Aviv.
it's on the water.
Okay.
It's
In
mostly
Rhode
a summer
Island?
in Rhode Island,
Okay.
right in Providence.
Yep.
And we have everything: cigars, hookah, and food from Mediterranean style food. So people come in there for a little bit of everything. We have, DJs and stuff, but we also have a really great humidor.
Okay.
So people come from all over to
You say
kind of.
humidor? That means cigars.
Right, the
Okay.
humidor is filled with cigars. Absolutely.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Oh, so it's pretty. So between that and the painting, it keeps you pretty busy. Now, so how about the dog walking? How'd that come?
So the dog
You love animals.
walking, I love animals, and typically
I've noticed that you walk them in the snow. They don't mind that.
they don't mind it. Some
Okay.
dogs do, but mostly they don't care.
Okay.
That came about because I wasn't really doing anything during the day. My daughter was in school,
Yeah.
and I wanted to do something part-time.
Okay.
And the owner of our company was hiring some people to walk dogs, and because I have experience
The owner of
fostering
what,
animals.
the cigar company?
Nope, the owner of the dog walking company.
Oh, okay, that's a different company too.
Totally different
Gotcha.
company.
Okay.
He needed some people to work part-time, so I just walk dogs when I can part-time. Anytime we have an animal that's difficult or is hard to train or bites or something like that, I'm usually the walker that takes them.
Well, what happens if? Have you ever had a problem with that? I mean,
Not once.
so you're good at taming them.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any particular methods of doing that?
No, I think
You just have to worry
animals
about
just,
you think they just
yeah, animals that hate everybody come to me. So
Well, that's great. You're like the dog whisperer.
this, my friends or my boyfriend actually calls me the Disney princess of animals.
There you
It's-
go. Do you have a dog yourself?
I do.
Do you have any other pets?
We have a dog. We have a bearded dragon and
A
an
bearded dragon?
and an Argentinian tegu.
Well, wait a minute. Are you talking about like it's a reptile?
It is a
It's
reptile.
a lizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does it breathe fire? Like,
No,
how else can
that would be fantastic,
It would
but
be,
no.
yeah. Maybe you could train it to. Okay. Well, how long is it?
The bearded dragon's only small. He's
Okay,
a little
it's not
one.
like a Komodo dragon.
No, the
that's kind of
tegu
indigenous
is
to Australia.
right. The tegu is much bigger. The tegu is like
Okay.
runs around the house like a dog.
It's considered an exotic pet, though, isn't it?
I
I mean, you don't have
guess
to because
maybe.
they say that some pets you got to be certified to have. Like
Yeah, these you don't need to be
you don't
certified
need
to
to be
have.
certified.
No.
Okay. And what else? What's the other thing you have?
Argentinian tegu.
Okay, that's a long lizard.
That's a big lizard. Yes.
Well, okay. You're not worried that there's going to be a conflict between them, or that they might try to eat the dog.
There is definitely conflict between the tegu and the dog, so we keep them separated.
Okay, that's good. No, as you know, that's very important. Okay. Now, I asked you when we came in, have you ever, I mean, a lot of the people I have on my show have done acting, they've done modeling, they've done music. Have you ever done anything like that?
A little bit of modeling and stuff when I was younger.
Okay.
Some acting, I'm really not that great at it, so I didn't do very much of it.
When you were a kid, you mean, like in school?
No, like, I don't know, maybe 19, 20 something. And then I did a lot of modeling, even locally and for swimsuit calendars and stuff when I was younger.
Okay, that's great. Did you go to college at all?
I did not. I've taken classes on social media, but I've never actually gone to college.
Taking classes in which?
On social media
social
and
media.
marketing
Okay,
and things like
You're
that.
talking about online. I understand. Now, where did you learn to paint? Did you just natural talent or what?
I just picked it up one day and
That's
wanted
why
to
I
try
asked,
it.
because I was wondering if you ever went to art school or
I
anything like that.
did not go to art school.
Okay.
My family was very much against that. They wanted us to all have traditional careers. So,
Okay. Well, that's a professional career.
now,
I guess
well,
not
they're
that-
much
They
more-
wanted you to be a doctor or something.
right, and
Or
they're
marry a
much
doctor.
right. They're
Yeah, I
much
know.
more open to it now. They're
Right.
fine. But when I was younger, that was no.
Okay. But you're an adult now. You can do your own.
That's right.
And you obviously have. What does your family think now? I mean, you're obviously proven that you you're pretty talented. They must be impressed, or are they not?
No, they are. Now they are fine with it because I do all different kinds of art things,
Right.
like repainting stuff, and I'm teaching myself how to paint now. And
Okay.
my daughter's very artistic. She wants to go to art
Cool.
school too. So, now that they're much more, they're okay with it now.
They're much more receptive of it than they would have been before. Now, do you do any painting? Do you do actual like wall paintings at all? Or any other kind of art, sculpting?
I've definitely painted, murals and things for people,
Okay.
and just, so
Those are
whatever.
permanent.
They are permanent.
Okay, I'd like to think that something you paint is not going to wash off.
Those are permanent.
Yeah,
so
okay.
yeah.
Like 100 years from now, it'll still be there. That's what I'd like to think.
Yep.
Because someone with your talent, I mean, as awesome as it is, it's nice to know, when you create art, it's nice to think it's going to be around. It's going to be around long after you're gone.
Right.
So that people can say, wow, a regular Emily Daniels Lindbeck, wow, look at this. This thing's got to be it's priceless. And somebody might even want to steal it. That's how big you're going to be someday.
Maybe.
Right. I mean, that's the kind of, if I were leaving my mark on the world, and I know that's a long way off, but I would like to be able to think that somebody's going to say, somebody sees an episode of Topic Time in 100 years, they're going to say, that guy was legendary. Okay, I may not be around to appreciate it, but that's my goal eventually, and I hope that everybody has, their own goal for what they're going to leave to the world.
Henna's not like that. It's very.
I know it's kind of sleeking way outside the box, but.
No, it's just that it's more, for me, it's not about leaving my mark on the world. It's about leaving my mark on the person. So I've worked on people who were terminal cancer patients. In fact,
oh, really?
I met a girl at a little festival thing that was terminal, and she found me on Facebook and came specifically to have me henna her, and it was the first time she'd gotten out of her wheelchair in months.
Wow.
She sat in front of me, and I did her henna and hennaed half of her family, and I still talk to the people in her family. It made such a difference in my life. She did. She lived for, I want to say, 2 or 3 more months after that, and she didn't make it 16 years old. So to me, that I got to touch somebody, and it made a difference to me more than it made to her.
Wow, that's
and I still talk to her
moving.
family. So things like that are more important to me. Working on pregnant women, I get to feel their babies move a lot of times for the first time. Babies are so active while you're doing henna for them, so it's kind of a cool thing.
Okay. Have you ever done any painting on yourself?
Henna and things on my, absolutely.
Yeah,
Usually I'm covered. So
What
this
about
week,
when you were pregnant with your daughter? Did you paint yourself then?
no, because
Okay.
I didn't know about henna then.
Yeah, I didn't know it then. Okay, that was because she's 13, and this was 9 to 10 years ago you started. Okay. Is she your only child? You got any other?
She is my only child. I also could not have children, so she was a miracle baby.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, there's an inspiration for all the stuff you've done with other pregnant women that have, or that wouldn't be pregnant if it wasn't for certain scientific advances or whatever.
Right.
Okay, well, guess what, Emily? We're down in the final 5 minutes of the show.
Okay.
We made it go by. So what I want you to do is to give some shouts out to people, because a lot of them are going to see it. But condense them,
Other than
You
my,
start with your
I was going to
daughter
say,
over
other
there.
than
She's
my
right there.
awesome child right there.
Okay, and then you can go on to your boyfriend or some of the people that know you from the Cigar Club or whatever.
So Tel Aviv and Providence, obviously where I work. Blackstone Valley Dog Walking is the dog walking
There you go.
company. And then
That's also in Providence, or Blackstone Valley. I think.
Blackstone Valley, so it's like Cumberland all the way down
Oh,
to Providence
I
into
see. It is
Attleboro in
Rhode
that
Island.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
okay.
still work in Massachusetts, but
Sure,
not
sure.
this far out. After that, I don't know. Just
Well, that's fine. I just want to get a good. When you take your dogs walking, do you have certain trails you take them to?
so each dog is an
favorite
individual,
trails?
so I go to their home and
Yeah.
get them from there. So it just depends on the neighborhood where we are.
Okay. All right. So basically, I mean, I guess it does. I guess you obviously try to make sure that they you get out in the woods. Nice nice vast area. Do you let them run free at all? Or you just
Never.
You never do that. Yeah.
No.
'Cause it's not your dogs.
We have insurance, and that would not go over well with the insurance
You
company.
don't groom them too, do you?
I do not. I do not know how to groom a dog.
You don't. Okay, that's understandable. And I hope you don't paint them, or if you do,
No.
yeah. 'Cause I heard of people painting dogs and stuff just just for kicks, and that's.
They have done henna on horses in ancient times for before battle and that sort of thing. You'll
Before
see.
battle. What do you mean?
Yeah, so if they were going to
ki-
go marching into battle like thousands of years ago, whatever, horses
Oh, you're
would get
talking about
decorated
you.
and
You mean
no, people
okay.
on it. Yeah, so we don't do that anymore. But yeah,
Okay, all right, that's good. Okay, so do you have any plans with this going forward into 2019, the spring? What are you going to be? What things do you have going on? Anything specific
Other than,
different than what we talked about?
so outside of doing some henna things and hoping to work on more mothers and sick people to make them feel better, a couple of years ago when Standing Rock first happened.
Okay. What first happened?
Standing Rock with the water pipes and all that.
Okay.
I went out there. So I met some people at a thing down here, and they asked me to get up and speak. So I spoke, and they asked me to take some medicine out to Standing Rock. So we raised the money, drove out there,
Okay.
and did that. So I'm hoping to be able to do some more work. I used to do a lot more things like that and with homeless people. So my goal this year is to start doing those kinds of things again.
Okay, that's great. So you're obviously a very given person, and that's that bodes well for you. And that's really cool. Your daughter wants to go to art school. Any particular one yet?
So she's
certainly not too young to go to art school.
Nope, she wants to go mostly to RISD, and she's got some other schools in mind as well. Right now, we're waiting to hear back from a couple of high schools.
Okay.
That she's
so
in the lottery for.
She wants to do an art and to go to a school for high school dedicated to the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Arts. Okay. That's great. Does she do dancing and music at all, or acting?
Not even a little
just
bit.
Painting and stuff.
Nope.
Okay. Never done singing at all?
No. Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, guess what? Well, I guess we can wrap the show up. I hope you had a good time with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and please tell as many people about Topic Time as you can, and that you might meet. I'd love to have them on. There's no limit to the type of people I have on the show.
Okay.
And sometimes I've even had a dog on the show once a bunch of years ago for a professional dog groomer, a trainer, back in 2014. So it was just about 4.5 years ago. So that's it. So folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. Another great episode next time. See you later. Take care. That's a wrap.